We're speaking to NJIT head women's volleyball coach Peter Volker following the Highlanders' 3-0 victory over Delaware State here on Friday night in the Fleischer Athletic Center. Coach, one of the things before I ask you about general thoughts, this is the 8th win for the Highlanders. You were not here last year, but the team won 7 matches, so it's just kind of maybe a baby step milestone. How do you feel in terms of the way that sets up in terms of the program showing improvement from one year to the next?
Sure. Well, I guess, it's certainly good to hear, but we don't want to stop at 8, and we're not satisfied with 8. We hopefully will win a lot more of our remaining. I think we have another 10 matches to go, so hopefully that 8 number is going to be a distant memory soon. But as I said, we're just focusing on one match at a time. Now the next match is Ryder on Wednesday, and as I said, Monday and Tuesday. Our next few practices will just kind of gear towards Ryder, and we'll just kind of focus one match at a time. But hopefully in this last, this home stretch of the final 10 matches, we're going to win a lot of matches and keep learning, keep improving, and our goal is each week to get better.
In terms of tonight's match, it was a 3-0 in sets, but they're pretty competitive. Delaware State really battled. Tell us what you thought the keys to the match were, who played well, stuff like that.
Sure. The offense seemed very balanced when we look at the points scored and our kills. Our top 4 hitters kind of went right in order: 10 kills, 9 kills, 8 kills, 7 kills. And then the kind of the 5th hitting option was down at 3 kills. But considering that that player Nina was injured, and only has practiced once this week, but has missed the last couple matches with her injury. Although maybe the hitting wasn't at the top of her game today, her defense and passing and serving were certainly on. So she contributed in a lot of different areas, and we didn't necessarily need her offensive production, today, like maybe we would need in some other matches. So, but I thought the offense, 4 of the 5 hitters was very balanced and made it difficult for Delaware State to kind of read what was coming up next. Serving was an area that I thought we should have done much better. It's okay to miss maybe 2 serves a game, which would have left us at 6 for the night, and we had twice as many at 12. So serving is something we really have to work on in the next couple practices. I think some of our serves were a little bit too easy, but we just had way too many errors, and to miss 12 serves in 3 games, that'll be kind of one of the focal points coming up of our next couple practices.
Is that something that's been something you've tried to focus on all year, or is this something that just cropped up tonight?
Well, it kind of comes and goes. With every skill, some days you're passing good, some days you're not. Some days we've had some excellent serving games, but tonight just wasn't one of those. And it's just that sometimes it can be, certain players, or sometimes it can just kind of rub off and just, it's everybody. So it's certainly not something that happens all the time, but tonight was certainly, serving was kind of our biggest area of weakness that we would kind of look at and pinpoint.
One of the, as you mentioned earlier, the kills totals were pretty balanced. Is that something that you want to see out of your teams? Is that something you strive for, to make it a little harder for the other team to know what's coming, or is it just the way this team has developed?
Right. You certainly never want to be predictable, and you never know who's going to be hot that particular night. Like if we went back a match, we saw Fran had 20 kills. And that's, as I said, if one player's on and they're having a great match, you want to keep going back to them, and you keep going back to the well and keep feeding them. So I don't necessarily care if it's balanced. It came out that way today, and you certainly don't mind it, because that's a good thing. But it's not a bad thing if 1 or 2 players just have hot nights and you just kind of keep going to them. I think we have the type of lineup where all 5 hitters on a given night can lead our team in kills, or second, whatever it may be, and it's not always going to be the same player. So I guess where it makes it tough on the opponent is, if they pinpoint one person and try to stop that one person, we do have other players that can kind of pick up that offensive load and switch around it. And so that's kind of what the balanced offense will show.
That sense of whether one person has the hot hand, or whether it's a night where the ball should be distributed around, is that something that comes from the setter, or the setter's supposed to pick up, or does that come from the bench?
Well,
who's
Sure.
where do you look for that kind of stuff to come from?
Certainly the setter gets a feel for it, during the game, but we also look at each individual game because you can be hot in game one and then kind of cold in game two. And we saw that a little bit tonight. Valerie Carroll was a player who in game one was hot and had 4 kills, and then in game two had 0 kills. And so it's not, you're not always hot for the whole night, and you can be hot in game one and cold in game two, and then she ended up having a really good match. But that's just kind of an example how it can start out one way, and then game two can change, and things change. The other team makes adjustments defensively, and whatever adjustments they make can change what you're doing a little bit.
Okay, is there anybody else that you would mention that you felt had a strong individual game?
I know Katrina Jensen hit 400, which was certainly a great thing to see, and had some really nice kills. Fran again for the second match in a row led our team in kills. So that's said this week I think she put up 30 kills, 20 the other night, 10 tonight, and so to put up 30 kills in 8 games is certainly a really good week for her, a very strong week. Passing, I think Camilla the libero had just a really strong game, very solid passing, and but I think everybody played, everybody had a good game, and it was nice to get Nina back and be healthy. So we've kind of been without our starting lineup for a couple weeks now. So this is our first game back with kind of the group that we've picked as the starting lineup, and hopefully we'll get a few more practices and get to keep them healthy for next week as we go into our Wednesday match.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for speaking to us, and congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
And good luck at Ryder.
Thank you very much.